The Curse of Oak Island. New theory states Nolan's cross is a marker for ancient relics in the garden shaft. A new convincing theory and discovery on the Curse of Oak Island shows the team is on track to recover treasure and ancient Christian relics at the bottom of the garden shaft. This week's episode of The Curse of Oak Island had nearly everything and only stopped short of the guys showering each other with untold riches. It was a particularly exciting episode that showed the guys making real progress in the garden shaft as they uncovered a potential depositor construction and a fascinating theory that states they are on the right track to find the treasure. Freemason and Oak Island researcher Christopher Morford was in the war room with his interesting theory. He believes that members or descendants of the medieval order of Templar Knights constructed Nolan's cross as a marker, pointing to where ancient Christian relics, such as the Holy Grail, are buried. Chris speculated that two of the large cone-shaped boulders from Nolan's cross are aligned with two drilled stones and are pointing to the money pit area. The first boulder of the cross, dubbed Cone C, lies on the beach where it could be spotted by an incoming ship. A rock with a strangely drilled hole lies between Cone C and Cone A at the top of the cross, and a second drilled rock lies in a direct line beyond Cone A. If you continue on that line, it intercepts the money pit area. Please see the map below. Oak Island team was buoyed by the theory that Nolan's cross points to the garden shaft. Rick Lagina reminded the group that a third drilled stone was found in the money pit area in 1895 but was subsequently moved. Often, at this point, the guys would thank the expert for their input, and that's the last we ever hear of it. But not this time. Surveyor Steve Guptill immediately set out to walk the line and measure the distances. Steve learned that the second drilled stone was exactly halfway between Cone C on the beach and the garden shaft. It was a little off-center of the shaft itself, but landed right above the tunnel that runs to the baby blob. Rick and Marty Lagina began personally drilling at the bottom of the garden shaft. Speaking of the tunnel, Rick and Marty went down the shaft and tried their hands at drilling. Marty gleefully told the camera they were returning to their roots as their grandfather had first come to America to work in Michigan's mines. The Laginas had a great time down there, though they did find it exhausting. "It's no job for old men," said Marty with a big grin on his face. They weren't just playing, though, as toward the end of the episode, they uncovered wooden beams, which the guys concluded was the tunnel going toward the baby blob. The beams appeared to be rounded, which suggests an older construction, and the historical documents described rounded wood beams in the initial discovery of the money pit. Rick bashed one of the beams with a metal bar and concluded there was a hollow space below it, perhaps the tunnel. The guys are pretty sure they finally hit on an original treasure depositor construction. This, combined with Dr. Spooner's work on water samples that suggests there are precious metals buried between 80 and 120 feet in the baby blob, has left the team very excited. The Dumas mining guys will now deepen the garden shaft by another 3 feet, hopefully bringing this tunnel into full view. For over 2 centuries, Oak Island has mystified treasure hunters with its whispered secrets and elusive treasures. From tales of pirate gold to Templar relics, the 140-acre island nestled off the coast of Nova Scotia has long lured adventurers with the promise of buried riches and ancient truths. Among the most enigmatic features of the island is Nolan's Cross, a giant stone formation whose precise alignment and geometric perfection have baffled historians and theorists alike. But now, a bold new theory is captivating the minds of the Fellowship and viewers of The Curse of Oak Island. Could Nolan's Cross be a deliberate marker pointing to ancient relics hidden deep within the garden shaft? A stone enigma revisited, first brought to prominence by landowner Fred Nolan in the 1980s, Nolan's Cross is a symmetrical stone structure stretching across the island's western terrain. The arms of the cross span hundreds of feet, with 5 large boulders forming a perfect cruciform shape. Each stone was found to be intentionally placed and appears unnaturally precise for a pre-modern era, suggesting it was created by people with knowledge of sacred geometry and navigation. While previous theories suggested the cross could be a Templar symbol or a Masonic landmarker, new data collected from advanced LiDAR scans and subterranean analysis is making the team question everything they found. A deeper mystery, originally considered a secondary dig site, the garden shaft has become the epicenter of current excavations. Located near the money pit, it has recently revealed unusual anomalies, cavities, wooden structures, and even traces of precious metals like gold and silver. As the team digs deeper, something strange has come to light. the coordinates and angles of the garden shaft align almost perfectly with the arms of Nolan's cross. It was theorist and engineer Travis Morley who made the initial connection. Using 3D modeling, he overlaid a digital rendering of Nolan's cross with known tunnel and shaft placements. What he found shocked even the most skeptical of the fellowship. If you extend the eastern arm of Nolan's cross by precisely 147 feet, Morley explained on the latest episode, it cuts directly through the center of the garden shaft. Not just that, it intersects at a depth of 103 feet, where recent seismic data shows a chamber-like anomaly. Templar relics below. The implications of Morley's discovery are staggering. If the alignment is intentional, it could point to a deliberately hidden vault placed centuries ago, potentially by the Knights Templar, who many believe fled to the New World with sacred relics like the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. Historian Zena Halpern's previous work speculated that Oak Island could have been used as a way station or hiding place for sacred artifacts during the 12th or 13th century. With the cross now potentially acting as a geometric cipher, the theory gains new weight. This isn't just folklore anymore, said Rick Lagina. There is precision, purpose, and intent behind this layout. Someone, long ago, used this land like a blueprint. The cross might be the key that unlocks it all. The dig intensifies. Armed with this new theory, the Fellowship ramped up operations around the garden shaft. Crews drilled deeper, targeting the coordinates laid out by Morley's mathematical projections. What they encountered wasn't just void space or disturbed soil. They struck something solid, yet hollow. Initial core samples retrieved fragments of ancient wood, consistent with hand-hewn timbers. More surprisingly, a sliver of what appears to be a bronze or gold inlay was retrieved from the cavity wall, suggesting something ornate lies within. Dr. Ian Spooner was brought in to test the samples, and the preliminary results were enough to make jaws drop. We're looking at materials and chemical compositions that simply don't belong in this geology, Spooner confirmed. This metal isn't from natural deposits. It was placed here intentionally. More than coincidence. Skeptics are quick to dismiss geometric theories as coincidence, but the Oak Island team has encountered far too many coincidences over the years to ignore the pattern. Nolan's cross may not just be a spiritual symbol, it may be a code. One designed to be seen from above, interpreted only by those who understood ancient cartography and astronomical alignment. Gary Drayton, the resident metal detecting expert, chimed in as well. You don't put giant boulders in a cross pattern by accident, mate. And you definitely don't do it hundreds of years ago without a darn good reason. If this cross leads us to a vault, we're talking about the most important discovery in Oak Island history. Theories abound, pressure mounts, with excitement building, the Fellowship faces more pressure than ever to uncover what lies beneath the garden shaft. Is it a treasure chamber, a religious reliquary, or perhaps the culmination of all the clues hidden across the island for generations? Some theorists suggest that the cross and shaft are part of a much larger sacred map of the island, one involving astronomical alignments with constellations like Orion or even the solstices. Others believe it could be a trap, designed to mislead those who come searching. But if the team's instincts are right, and history is on their side, they may be on the brink of something unprecedented. A season finale for the ages. As the season edges toward its climax, anticipation is at an all-time high. Fans around the world are watching as the team descends into the newly uncovered chamber. Equipment is on standby, sonar imaging is ready, and a security perimeter has even been set up, just in case what they find needs to be protected. Whether or not the relics of Nolan's cross are truly hidden in the garden shaft remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the theory has renewed the team's focus and reshaped the narrative of Oak Island. What was once a mysterious stone formation may now be the final clue in a treasure hunt that spans centuries, and the world may finally be ready to hear what secrets the island has to share. Could the end be near, or is this just another chapter in Oak Island's eternal enigma? Either way, the cross is spoken, and the Fellowship is listening.